All right. Now I know you saw this image earlier. This is Edward Kelly and John Dee. And John Dee was the guy I was getting into. And the connection is the book became famous because of John Dee, who served as an advisor to Elizabeth I. Dee was really interested in angelic communication, ceremonial magic, and in the late 1500s, he began working with the scryer Edward Kelly. Scryer, a word, but you just don't hear that anymore. But I think of like Chris Bledsoe when I hear scryer. Oh, Mr. Magnet. Hello, sir.
Ooh, like a spooky man coming from the grave. I like that you're talking about John Kelly as I pop in the door.
Yeah,
No reclamation.
dude, I'm telling you, this has been the roughest start to a live stream I've ever had. Like I started
What
this.
happened?
Oh yeah, so like I started a stream. I'm like, okay, everything's going. As soon as I start talking, the cat in the house literally starts trying to communicate through the door into the microphone. And then as I'm just dealing with that, I come back to the screen. I'm kind of gathering my shit, and because I forgot where I left off, lose the connection to StreamYard. Have to log back into StreamYard and and just hope the live stream was still working. So we're still up and running, but like that has been the start to this stream. And so I just figured, forget it. I'm just gonna start getting into what I had planned covered, which we started with the Book of Soiga, which leads you to these two characters right here you see on the screen. And I know you're really
Those
the expert on this stuff.
the gruesome twosome, as I like to call them. What's funny is John Dee actually took caution. Edward Kelly was a little wilder, man. He didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
That was just pretty damn crazy.
Well, that's kind of what I was reading is that it seems like Dee was kind of more the frontline scientist researcher guy, whereas Kelly was like Chris Bledsoe, like talked to orbs and got angelic messages.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
they both did a bit of the old Ouija board fun time. Well, more I guess like sigil magic, but Ed Kelly, he really had no qualms with like the entities that he was looking up. You know, John Dee did not. He, I don't know, a lot more caution.
yeah.
I'm right now trying to source, like, go through my notes right now because I had a whole list of stuff from. Where is it? A bunch of books I found in history that have 100% known to be bound in skin.
Oh, right. So yeah, so we do have the Anthropodermic bibliopegy. Bibliopegy? Is
Bibliopegy.
that
And that's how I like to say bibliopegy. Bibliopegy. If you say
bibliapple
it,
juice?
yeah, that's the one. If you say
Okay.
it with more syllables, it makes it sound smarter. So I try to pack
I
as many as I can in there. I throw in a few for good measure, ones that don't really exist either.
I'm okay with sounding dumb, but with gusto. That's really kind
It's basically what I'm talking about, bud. Hell yeah.
of. So how's your day been, friend?
Good, dude. Dealing with fucking shenanigans, workers
Yeah,
coming in and doing, not
they're
my workers,
doing
but like
a roof.
painting and roof work and a whole bunch of stuff, gutters and oy vey.
Anybody there named Hank?
Oh no, dude. I didn't see anybody. I don't think so.
I was
I don't think
curious.
so. I hope not. Is it Kevin? I think there's a Kevin. I heard somebody
It's a
yelling
Kevin.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
I know
Kevin. Man.
Kevin. I know
Okay,
Kevin.
tell him I said hello. He's doing an all right job. A little fucking loud up there with the hot shit.
Okay. All right.
With the
Well,
hot
dude,
mops.
it's hard work. It's hard work.
It
Uh,
is.
okay. So we're talking about this human skin on books.
And I feel it's a nice little sidetrack because we're kind of dealing with that. And you mentioned an awesome overlap with the beef jerky references with the whole
Oh
Epstein
God.
thing.
Yeah.
So I would imagine is a very similar process would be like the tanning thing, which is also still kind of relevant with the book tanning as well.
So is tanning like the nickname for the practice, or?
Yeah, that would be like any kind of skin, like you'd have it in drum making for certain kinds of drums, like bongos and stuff. You have it
Mhm.
with normal like calf skin binding and stuff like that for book covers and shit like that.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And so they would take these things, and I was reading a little up on it a little bit, and I saw there's cases that range all the way from like trying to embarrass criminals to requests from the people themselves to have a book made out
Yeah,
of them.
I wouldn't even say it's embarrassed the criminals because I feel like this is more of an afterthought. Like they went
Like
on the
scare the other criminals.
maybe more like curiosity sake and weird morbid. So there's like this thing called the clinical gaze, which was an issue with most practitioners of medicine, like 18th and 19th century, where they would stop looking at their people as patients and more as like a meat sack that they could poke and test things on. Like
Right.
the human aspect totally went out the window. So there's a lot of weird shit that happened, a lot of odd procurements of bodies in illegal ways. One of
Mm-hmm.
those ways that you could legally obtain a body was if it were like a criminal tried and then hung or something like that. So
Right.
they would they would then get the body in the medical field. They would dissect the body and then take meticulous notes on all the things that they took out. Sometimes the nervous system, sometimes just the skin, sometimes organs. But then what they would do is find that book in the skin of the criminal who was also dissected and written about in the book. Right. So that's what you mostly have. And that's the least macabre. And I'm not saying it's not
Right.
macabre, but it's the least of all the creepy ones.
Yeah.
Um, there's a few examples. One is so this man wrote, uh, we'll just call it open-ended literature because I don't know where you would class this thing. But it's a book about his wife's betrayal of him and I guess his slow descent into sadness and madness. But that book was then bound in a woman's breast skin. Weird enough. So
That's
you
not
got that one.
that's not this one, is it? That we're looking at? The
Is
Destines de Lane,
that might be it?
the
Actually,
Destinies of the Soul,
no.
1859.
That's a woman who went to the insane asylum. She was mentally ill, wrote this book, and then the person who obtained
Skin.
her well, yeah, and her manuscript, like whatever she wrote while she was in there,
Uh-huh.
it was weird. They wrote in like to the publisher, I guess, who made more copies of this thing. He wrote a little note to him explaining the exquisiteness of being able to use this skin on the book. Fucking weirdo. Especially since it was like a book on the soul, to be bound in the woman's skin was like
Right.
the best thing to do for this book. So he
Yeah.
does this and then writes a note explaining how awesome it was for him to do this.
That's
I
what's
beg to
weird
differ, however.
when you look at the themes of that book. It was like the evolution of the soul, and the soul goes on and you learn moral lessons throughout life and this and that and the other, and then he stole someone's skin to make it
Yeah,
to
I
make a
like to think
copy
of
of the
it.
book.
I like to think of it as a euphemism for a beehole. The guidance of a soul. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, crude joke there, but I don't know, man. This is a crazy subject because these people are insane. to like
and
suggest
in
this.
2024, Harvard had to take the skin off of their skin book.
Yeah, that was that
Because
one that we were just discussing.
people were offended. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, but it's history. You know, you could point at it and go, "Ooh, that's bad. Don't do it again." But like, I don't know. To ruin history is to erase it and say it never happened.
Yeah. How it does seem weird to like. I get saying this was wrong. It's not something we should do, but it's like this. It's like the same argument for Auschwitz, right? You leave it to remember it.
Yeah, but Auschwitz got a little crazy. Okay. Like now they've got like a beer fest in the parking lot. They have cotton candy makers and souvenir
Auschwitz
shops. Yeah, dude, it's gotten wild.
Wow.
There's someone. Oh no, I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Busch Gardens. I apologize. Auschwitz. They do have a T-shirt section in their merchandise bit of the place, but
they do. It's towards the back.
Yeah,
Just stay away from that back door.
Fact check myself there. I'm glad that we didn't go forward with that one. I would have been canceled immediately. We kid, folks. This is a terribly gross, weird subject. We got to lighten the mood somehow.
Yes. So there's that one. There's one in Massachusetts, right? And the thing is, there's a lot of books that were claimed to be made out of human skin, but it sounds like the new trend is if you find out your book is made out of human skin, they're going to take the human skin off of it.
I hope that's not the fucking trend. Harvard is weird because they are like pretty good at knowing what to do with books, and history. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they chose to do this, because they know what to do with books and history. But it's not the worst example. I mean, like there are spookier versions, like we'll get into the Necronomicon stuff, but I'm not trying to I'm gonna ruin anybody's good time immediately in the show today.
Well, they're having a good time talking about human skin.
Oh yeah,
human skin books. How much more fun could it be?
all three of our listeners right now were fucking cringing.
No, we're down one.
I apologize. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, Psionic. It's Psionic and Tracy. One of you two have decided to stick it out for us and us alone.
A rough one.
We love and thank you.
We got off to a rough start today, man. I was like, dude, I wonder if we are cursed now for covering this subject, because this honestly is probably the worst start I've ever had. And I didn't even do anything yet except try to open the show.
Well, I did. I sent you 16 books that I found. All
you did?
Skin books. Yeah.
Where?
Yep. It's Lady Gaga's bibliography.
Oh, well, you could have just said it's that one source.
Bound in her own. I found 16 beautiful examples. No one's willing to buy on eBay, so they're all going to your house now. That could be what.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the real question here is the woman that Gaga supposedly, allegedly killed. Did she have a book supposedly, allegedly made out of her? Supposedly, allegedly.
There's only one way to find out. So we
supposedly,
do a road
allegedly.
Trip. Is this the section where we go on a road trip to Lady Gaga's
house? This is the part of the movie where it cuts to us in a car.
And then cuts to us in a trunk. Right. Still same car, different locations, both in place and storage.
So the one at Harvard, they took the skin off, and I hear they're trying to say that's what you need to do now. But so I read this article that said if you're a collector of this stuff, you might not want to have it tested, because as soon as they find out it's human skin, they're going to try to get you to turn it in or take it off or whatever they want. They want to take it from you or strip the skin off of it.
Well, there's you're from an area where there's the same thing with New York. I don't know if you remember the show Oddities on, I think it was the History Channel or maybe Discovery.
Which show?
It was that weird thrift shop, but they would sell old 1930s embalming equipment and little skulls and stuff. Right, so New York and Portland, they've got their own death positive community where I don't know. I grew up as a goth kid. I think a a cool plaster skull on my dresser, probably like half my life.
Sure.
I got it during Halloween, and that stayed out all year for years.
That's a goodie.
Oh yeah, it was. I think I got it from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that. But still, like macabre shit is cool, dude. I used to have a bunch of like old death metal posters on my wall with like coffins and fucking graveyards,
Right.
and Varg Vicarness giving the finger to the Pope and stuff, But like, there's a difference between that and like writing fan fiction to your dead self, which I think some of the body,
That's a
not
thing?
the body positive, but the death positive thing. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't fully get the niche.
Wait, that's a thing?
Maybe it's
Oh,
a
my
speculation
goodness.
here. Okay, this is a little bit of fun being poked at this community because I believe.
Well, see, I know
full of good
absolutely
times.
nothing about it, so you could very easily throw me off the track here. But I will tell you this, and I think I mentioned it before, was the weird stuff I came across with people in Portland being able to go to a hotel and pay money to look at a dead body and see guts come out of it and shit. As if it were a show.
You're talking about the Hilton?
Probably, I don't know.
The run-of-the-mill Hilton? Everybody, it's on 13th and 4th
It might
Avenue.
be Doubletree this year because inflation, but
For an extra $7, they'll even give you the stick. You can poke the body. You can give it a little poke, a little nudge. You can smell the stick afterwards. I don't recommend doing so.
Oh, I wouldn't smell it.
Don't smell it, folks.
At least not without dipping it in some potpourri first or something.
Yep. Give it a
Not
swish,
recommended.
swirl around some mouthwash.
It's not recommended. Those bodies are bottom barrel bodies, It's not like they're top shelf.
They're just guests that wouldn't leave. Turns out they were dead the whole time.
They're going to have a smell to them. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun. But anyway, yeah, that fucking weirded me out. And then you find out this shit's all over the place. And then there's like that museum in Vegas. They've even talked about it on Rogan. Like you can go and see all these dead bodies turned into art.
Oh, the bodies. I saw that exhibit in so at the gallery that I was working for when I was 20. They give you a little pass and you can go to any gallery basically in the United States. I'm pretty sure if I would have went abroad, I could have gone to all those galleries for free too. But I can get into the Met, and they'll like also if I went and talked to staff and told them which gallery I worked for, they would take me in the back and show me some cool stuff. So I do this all the time. And one of those places that I went, just because it was on route to, it's like a place where I used to hang out and skate with some friends, was the bodies exhibit down in, I think it was like South Street, Seaport.
Here we go. Here we go.
But there was a protest outside. I didn't quite understand, and I was also a little too young and stupid to look into it.
What do you mean, how young? How old were you?
After. I was like 20, but
okay.
Politics had already
super young.
Annoyed the hell out of me, so I didn't look into politics too much.
Right.
I already was disillusioned with the entire like climate change.
Well, you're ahead of the game.
Oh yeah, but it was because I fell for it hard when I was younger. I fell for the bullshit pretty well, hook, line, and sinker. And then I was like, oh no, not again. Yep.
Yeah. Well, so, not all of us, but yeah.
What was heat? What was it? The climate change originally was global warming, and then they had to switch it up because it technically wasn't warming anymore.
Right.
So
it was only warming in some places.
Then it was like the oil spills and how the companies never really had to pay to fully fix the problem.
That's the shit that bothers me. The pollution. Like
BP, dude. What's up with the oil spill in the ocean? And I think they only had to pay $130 million or something like that on top of the insurance payout to the families. And they ruined how many $1 billion worth of ocean water and fish and
how much gas do they sell here?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was okay. They got forgiven, after they do a little slap on the wrist. And then when they said that we need to now change everything about our lives and be slightly more convenient, so Leonardo DiCaprio and Taylor Swift can take their private jets everywhere. I don't know, things just
these are
annoy me
artists.
to different degrees. I forgot where we were going with this one. The tangent has gotten away from me.
I know, me too, buddy. We were. Oh, I forgot to, but I'm pretty sure we were going through the human skins, obviously, and
Oh,
then
bodies.
we were
The
talking
bodies
about the
exhibit.
bodies exhibit.
Yeah, so and then I
You
went
got
on
it.
a rant about why I stopped liking
Yes,
politics and
that's right.
studying
That's right.
current events.
Well, because that
Um,
became all political, like most things these days.
oh yeah, well then I was horrified 2 weeks after I decided to go back on my own word and start looking into shit. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that protest was about. Because then other people had come into work and they were talking about like, oh yeah, I went down there and that protest got a bit bigger. So I was like, oh, let me look into what this protest was about. And it turns out it was about Chinese homeless people going missing.
Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
and then certain homeless people. But now this is the fucked up part, right? Like
Right.
we're gonna take racism out of this because this has to do with race. But based upon genetics and facial structure and things like that, they could figure out the region of where these people were going missing to like the features on their face and stuff.
I'm
Like
sure.
sans skin, but like bone structure and things like that. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like if you're in Peru and you're higher up in the mountains, your chest cavity, your lungs, your things are going to be different than somebody closer to sea level. It's just how the body works, right? So same thing, especially if like China is covered in all sorts of mountainous regions and different elevations and stuff. So they come to find out that these bodies are being bought and paid for sometimes before the body is technically there, right?
Dude,
So they're
what
looking
the
at
fuck?
like maybe homeless people still being alive when they go missing and then ending up in this exhibit, right? But because
That's fucked up.
this is also the thing. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen Silicon Valley, right? I always bring the show up because I love that damn show. But there's a season when they go to China and they're trying to do worker rights shit, and they're like, "New China, new worker rights. We are China for the people now." And I'm not saying it's true, but it is a better China than it used to be as far as human rights are concerned. Slightly better, not totally better. I think they have murder vans that drive around that incinerate people who are a little.
Did they close the camps down?
Not sure. Not sure. The camps are nicer now. They got more wicker furniture. They got Mai Tais. They got a tennis court.
As long as they got wicker. That was really what I was concerned about.
By the way, that brings me to our next sponsor, folks. The CCP, no longer your enemy. Thank you. Is the CCP
and Alaskan dry ice. Alaskan
dry ice from China.
When you need that part moved.
Oh man! All right. So now, where were we before I got lost on our sponsorship?
The bodies exhibit. So you actually went inside this thing.
Yeah, dude. And there's people throwing footballs and shit. There's
what did you think of it?
Stuff. I was shocked. First off, because it smells like a funeral parlor because everything is formaldehyded. It's all real bodies formaldehyded. Like
You think they would be like sealed?
They are kind of. They're kind of. You can smell it.
I've seen some pictures of it, and I just was like, "Oh my god!"
I worked with a couple of Damien Hirst art pieces, right? And now he does formaldehyde tanks, right? So his super satanic, super sacrilegious stuff, where everything is mocking is some form of the church. Like he had these decapitated cow heads in formaldehyde tanks, huge tanks. Right, and they went out in front of medicine cabinets, and it was supposed to represent the 12 martyred saints from one of the big famous churches in Europe. So, like the medicine cabinets were stained glass windows, the things were the martyred saints, but you could smell that shit from like 3 floors down, and that was just a couple of formaldehyde heads. This was a whole entire building filled with like. Man, it was like these skeletons covered in like muscle and bone structure, right? And then throwing a football and like fake swimming poses and shit.
I mean, what?
Like somebody designed this and like articulated these bodies and all that, like.
I just don't see the artistic significance to that. I just don't see it, but I'm not one of those artsy people. So,
well, all right, we're going to put it on scale now. Okay, we're gonna place ourselves because we have a bias here on this show towards ourselves, and we're not gonna lie about it. We're gonna put us on the classy end of things. Okay, and that's like classy art, I'll say. And then we have on the other end the stern shock jock style of bodies exhibits, on the other end. And like most people do, come on, you're going to get some art in there. You're going to have an old master painting that's on our side, right? Then you have the shock jock bodies exhibit, which is on the other side, where it's totally fucked up, man. And I think it's only there to make you go, this is awful.
Right. I mean, and that's, and then you consider what you were saying, how they acquired these things, these bodies.
Well, I'm also thinking about it. There's every single body in there is sans skin. What the hell do they do with the skin? Where is that skin? How many books are bound in those people is what I want to know. They're not just going to throw that skin out.
To make up for the ones the professors took or whatever.
Yeah, well, and now if you think about the Native American aspect, right? They were already doing the hard stuff. Nobody keeps, well, I guess some people keep the skeleton and bones and the muscle and that shit. But like, I would imagine if you're the Buffalo Bill type, the skin is the most valuable part. So they're throwing away the bacon. You know what I mean? They're throwing away all of the sellable good bits to what? To make the bones, the fancy bone sculptures.
I don't get it, man. I understand also, though, that it was a different time. From what I understand, when I was reading, a lot of this happened, like we were saying, in those Victorian times, sort of pre-Victorian, and then a lot of it happened during Victorian times, and then they just stand the test of time because, the person that wants a human skin book is going to take care of it, I would imagine. So that's how they get passed down and taken care of and that kind of thing. So it's like, I understand why they exist.
Well, just because, all right, so I need money, folks, and I'm not trying to go back to my old job of standing on the street corner waiting for my job to come pick me up, if you know what I'm saying.
Waiting to become a book?
Yeah, well, the carpal tunnel was the problem now. I don't want to be turned into a book. So I've started my own skin book, okay? And it will be on sale in about 6 to 7 months. I'm just duct taping scabs to the top of my diary. So we'll see how this goes. I'm very clumsy, so this should take no time at all, folks.
I mean, dude, it's you could probably do a killing if you get in the right art group.
Oh man, I sell it to what's his name?
Start running in the right circles.
The old gold member, he'll appreciate that. He'll tasty book for him.
God, it's people that just need money to waste. So, yeah, it's amazing. I do think it's amazing that there's a term for collectors of this stuff and people that are interested in this stuff and the study of this, because I don't know how much there is to study. It seemed like there was kind of 3 reasons why this would happen, right? One is doctors needed to make notes and human skin could keep the book together.
Yeah, we'll call it creepy doctors because that's the least flowery way of putting it, because these doctors are creepy.
Yeah,
I'm putting it on record. I think they're creepy.
At that time, they're pretty creepy.
Yeah, they peck out your blood with a sparrow. They get you a couple of leeches to fix your ailments. They get a wizard to annoy you for a weekend. That usually would fix you up.
Wizards.
Nice. Dude, they're annoying. Dude,
bitch.
First off, they're pedantic. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. My grandmother is pedantic.
First time,
folks. Okay, she pokes me. And you know what? It's not even for any cool spells. She's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't call me.
Hate that. God, Grandma. Lay off.
Damn it, Grandma. I told you. Got things I'm doing.
So yes, there was that. You had these creepy doctors needed to make a note, and yes, believe it or not, it was easier to get human skin than it was goat skin at some time in some places, and that's what they did. So, sounds gross. It is terrible to be taking skin off of dead people, but as Flak was saying earlier, like, dead people were a lot different back then. You know, they weren't treated with like the same, a dead body wasn't treated with the same like care and, I don't know, protection that they are now. It was just, you were dead. So you were dead.
It's weird because it took, you know what it is? I feel like people really enjoyed like not having their dead stolen and stuff. Right? Like
Yes.
the government, it took the government a while to come around onto that, because you as a person in like the 17, 18, 1900s, you could buy a crypt or like like an area for your body to be buried. And then you could also pay a couple extra bucks to have a wrought iron gate put around your entire coffin.
Wow.
So no one can steal you. Yeah. And it would be welded, completely welded together, weigh like 400 or 500 pounds.
Right.
So like you couldn't get that thing out of there. So like people knew that this was going on, and they were like, no, I'd like to keep my ass in the fucking ground if I could, you know? So I don't know. I think it was the government was making quite a bit of extra change, you know, in the black market.
Like the British government?
Yeah, in the U.S. You have to understand that. So the U.S. was just British with less rules, you know, more rules.
Yeah,
and
that's
less
I mean,
rules.
that's what I mean. It seemed like it was like mostly under British rule when this shit was happening anyway.
But we've got examples from like 1850, and that's well after the United States was started, you know, and you got to realize like the biggest institutions were all medical colleges started by like the English universities.
Right. Cambridge.
Yale.
Oxford. Yes. So
actually, those are all the ones that have the most examples, by the way, of skin books.
So you are anti taking the human skin off of the skin books at this time.
Yeah, and I'm also anti-human skin books. I don't want any new ones.
Right. Right. You know, so like we don't want them
explicitly stated. We don't want any new books.
No, of course
no new books, people.
Right.
But I want.
You would assume that would go without saying, but in today's world,
yeah, right. Like this is also the thing. Like we want proof for why we can't do stuff and why things like rules exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if somebody says, "Oh, hey, you can't do said thing," and I go, "Well, how do you know?" And they go, "Well, somebody did said thing," and then you go, "All right, prove it." And then they go, "Well, we burn the only living." Well, I guess it wouldn't be living, but the only copy known to have existed, it's gone now. But you're going to take my word for it. No more words are given here. We take nobody's word for anything because they fucking lie about everything. So you're going to have to prove to me that it was even a thing before I don't do said thing. Even though I'm squeamish, there's no way I'm doing said thing. But bluffs here, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not going to go check the book out. I don't even want to be in the same building as one of these things.
Dude, they'll let you touch the book. I watched a video where they let the lady touch the book.
Oh boy,
I wouldn't touch that book.
No, I'm okay.
Nope.
And that's what I mean. Like I'm all right with that. But that should be there though. Like it should be retained like that. You know, what if it's for scientific study? What if it's for whatever?
What if the room is cold and it has goosebumps or something fucking creepy like that? Nope, not happening, folks.
Now I'm gonna throw up.
That's where my good evening is, because I wanted to eventually do a disgusted Dracula. This was my perfect episode to throw out the blah. But now I'm a Bruce Campbell. I'm too busy dealing with Necronomicons.
Too busy being Bruce. No, okay. So, like I was saying, so you had the medical stuff. Then you had criminal punishment, like we were talking about. And it could be, it's like you're saying they're already dead, so it's not to shame them for they're already dead.
And that's also
it's
kind
symbolic.
Of fits a little bit like, so like if we're doing a Venn diagram, right? That'll fit in both, because it's a bit of creepy doctoring, and then like they're like, well, we've already got it here. Why would we waste the? That's when they go oddly Native American.
He's just a thief.
Like, we need to use all aspects of the criminal for our whatever purposes. Because when I first got into this, I was looking for like the Necronomicon type type book where it's magical texts, and that barely exists. There's maybe one or two, like, because you can say theosophical or philosophical fits with that, right? That could fit in the occult
this one,
realm.
Right? I mean, that's pretty fucking magical.
Which one is that one?
The Book of Soiga?
Yeah, what year? Yeah, it's pretty magical. That's a spooky book. What year was that?
Well, I took the original and then I just ran it through AI and cleaned it up. So it's just a picture of the original book. I just had it cleaned up.
But that's bound in skin. That's a skin book.
No. This is
just a spooky magic book. Okay.
A spooky magic book, yeah.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool.
Can
you go to just for shits and gigs, because this is what this hoaxed the hell out of me. Because we might as well. You know what? I'm going to let you finish your statement before about the 3 different types, because I was about to dive into the Necronomicon.
I know you're throwing me all off here. What the hell, man?
I get all spooked up.
Then the last one, we were already there. The last one was there's actually some people that want that done. Like the criminal in America was, I think, the only known one that's documented where he actually wanted them to turn his book into skin, and then they gave a copy of it to a guy he robbed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did you hear what they did with that one? What the family of that book did? So the guy who got it, which first off, he was a victim of this criminal who was trying to murder him and got away. So the criminal was like, this guy's a fucking badass, man. He needs my book, my skin book of me talking about my crimes. We're going to give it to him, right? So then that guy who possessed this book proceeded to spank the shit out of his children anytime they got bad with this book growing up.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that's the book pulled off the shelf? Because, like, I don't know. I wasn't getting into too much trouble, but I was a bit of a wise ass growing up. So I've gotten a couple of fucking ass whoopings. Never with this
spank you
book.
With the skin book?
Yeah, no. And I'm pretty sure he was like, do you know how I got this book? It's like, yeah, Dad, I'm 45. You still beat me with this book here. Yes, I know you almost got murdered. I almost got murdered for this book. And then because I'm so tough, this murderer is scared of me, but you won't do the dishes. 45 years old. Get the book, son. It's like, Dad, you're shorter than me now. Do you want me to boost you up? You get the book.
Just do the
off
fucking
the shelf
dishes,
yourself.
Man. Come on. So
you found out my family lineage about the book? All right, folks.
So what?
This is why we're doing this episode. I have a vex against these stupid books. I'm tired of getting
it off your chest,
but not doing the dishes. Ooh.
What is so? Yes, memorialization. What is your thought on that? Being like, hey, I want to be remembered as skin book guy.
It's the most metal thing. And what's funny is classical music was the only thing around at that time. You know, but this is like what death metal was made for, I think.
Way ahead of its time. But yes, and then, I mean, you also had people, like I was saying, Victorian era, there was this kind of morbid curiosity on top of everything else they had going on. I think probably because everything else they had going on, there was this morbid curiosity with death and dead things and dead body parts and all that stuff. So some of it happened because of that.
The whole mummy thing was kind of wild. That, like, there was a whole black market of just mummy sales because people wanted them for their fucking smoking room or their living room, or it's like,
and this
hey,
is like back in the day when Whitey would roll over to Egypt and crack
Victorian era, you know, where you get into vapors. Let me just inhale some mummy real quick. They're doing that today, actually. Now I know some people.
These fucking bastards. The mummy dust. They make it hard to be white, man. They make it hard to be white.
Dude, just do some normal shit. You don't got to do such super white, weird mummy fucking things.
Mummy poaching? Like, That was probably one of the weirdest things, and one of the weirdest things in that Napoleon movie was when they pulled the mummy out and he's like
I didn't even
steps
see
up the steps up the stairs and just staring at it and touching it and stuff. So crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So the Napoleon, you never saw a Napoleon movie?
nope. I feel like Red Panda Koala is going to be upset with me now. He
It's not
loves
bad.
that specific time period. He
Yeah,
loves
it's
it.
not
I don't
bad.
understand it because it's particularly fucking boring. You know, there's
That's
like
insane,
the
dude.
French Revolution, Napoleon. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, cool horses and shit, but there's no like electricity. You don't have spaceships
I
and
know,
shit.
right?
We've got the
Well,
better
we don't have
timeline.
spaceships.
Yep,
I mean, we
sort of.
don't.
Yeah,
Sort of. We can look
I'm
at them.
I'm building one in my
Don't
tool
lie
shed, my
to
friend.
me, Flack. Don't lie
It's
to me.
all right. It's
Don't.
on my front lawn, and it's magnificent. It is glorious. It's in the 37 pieces,
Oh,
but it will be in
John
one piece soon.
John Horwood, Bristol, England. They took his trial records and bound them by his skin.
Yep.
William
murdered-
Burke.
He murdered a woman that he was in love with, who was hanging out with just some friends, a couple dude friends, and he threw a rock and it hit her. She ended up in the hospital, told on his ass. He went to trial for it, and then she died, and then he was hanged, and then they did the
Can't
old thing.
trust these hoes, man. Can't trust these hoes.
You can't also trust a man with a rock. Ladies, wear a
Right.
helmet. This is why I wear a helmet in
Or
public
like
all the time.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Put a freaking helmet on.
Just wear a helmet, folks. OSHA approved.
The Burke and Hare murders in Edinburgh. 16 people had their lives taken and their bodies sold in 1829.
That doesn't even take into account the bodies that they grave robbed before that, because that was their
I'm
shtick
sure
beforehand.
tons. If they, yeah, exactly. If they murdered 16 people to make it happen, like guaranteed they did some other terrible fucking things.
There's actually a Simon Pegg movie called Burke and Hare, which is pretty funny, but that talks about this. It's actually
No shit.
Strictly about this. Yeah, it was awesome. It's not part of the Cornetto trio, but or the Cornetto trilogy, as they like to call it. But it's good. It's a good movie.
We just watched this one about the guy that murdered Andrew Garfield on Netflix. Have you seen that one? It's pretty good.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of what I've been watching lately. Been rewatching The Godfather. Actually, a bunch of movies, older.
Oh yeah, you can never watch that
watch.
like too many times. Okay, so we got the human skin. So we had medical mostly, criminal mostly.
I have
curiosity,
a couple examples too.
Memorialization. Yes.
There was a slave, Phyllis Wheatley. I believe it was like the 1850s. She was bound. Well, I don't think it was her skin, but her book of poems was bound in skin. Then we have the mentally ill woman who did the Book of Souls. Then I found, just because I wanted to mention this before I forget it, Chateau de Moudon. In around like 1800, they were known for doing the tanning of the skins and stuff, right? And now they would do. You didn't have to make a book out of it. They would make it for a fucking vest or whatever the hell you request. They would tan whatever the hell and make a human shoes or something weird like that. So I wonder, like, because red apparently is like when I went down the other rabbit hole of who would even produce this today, it's like red fish tanneries, quote unquote. That's what it'd be labeled as.
A cannery.
Tannery, TANNERIES.
Tannery. Okay. Yeah, because I bet they do that, for animals and shit still, right? I mean, I'm sure it's still practice, just not supposed to be with humans.
But it's the region, like, so what I found out was just weird regions that have not so tight of regulations on things like that. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not gonna say where because I don't like.
Right. We don't want to promote
I
it.
didn't call the well that, and I also didn't call these places to
You didn't verify.
to ask. Yeah, to ask about the
Hey,
really weird wording on their websites and stuff. You know, like I did
we
find
should.
another
You
one.
know what we should do? We should do a space where we call them live and see what they say.
Oh man, well, but one was a business on Instagram. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it was a redfish tannery, and they only had 2 pictures up, 2 really weird pictures, and it was like a 6-year-old thing, and they like it was active because every so often they would talk to somebody in the comments of the one of the 2 photos, but it was real weird. Like I just got a real weird vibe from it.
Weird.
Like
yeah,
like maybe you.
Well,
call
sometimes
up and,
you see something, you just get that gut feeling. You know, you're like, something's not right here.
Yeah, hence why I didn't call
something
them or anything.
Is amiss.
Yep.
Yes. And man, the crazy thing is that there's like actively an argument right now in this community, apparently, about not even, like I was saying earlier, not even having your books tested because they're worried about them taking your book and, like, you know, taking the human skin off of it.
That was Harvard's own stupidity, in my opinion. Like, I'm hoping that because this is the whole thing, academia in the first place shouldn't be swayed by the public opinion on anything. They should be fact driven, right? That's the first institute that should be fact driven is historical academia. You know, why are you going and worrying about opinion on fucking history? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, like it brings us right back to the ridiculous things that we were saying with the Holocaust, right? Like if we just start erasing all of the things about it, then your claims hold no weight. There's no evidence behind those claims, right? So we need the evidence so that the claims hold the weight. People can't be like it
never happened, which they already have been trying to do for years with that situation.
Where we know it fucking happened. You know what I mean? Like if all the evidence that was still remaining was whitewashed, we'd have no numbers to match up with photographic evidence and stuff.
Right. And actual tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos.
People are crazy, man. People are crazy, dude.
I don't know, just the clothes, the amount of clothes and fillings and things left by the people, you know, because this also was a time where I was going to say social security numbers, but it wasn't that. It was the serial numbers. There you go. On clothing and things like that were not being used. So
right.
I'm pretty sure it would have been way easier to fucking pinpoint areas and locations where things were purchased and then that entire group of people missing. You know, like, I don't know. It's just academia should have a better standard for how they.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, I get, I'm not going to, okay, like we're saying, like, we're not into this shit, but I understand the argument that, well, fuck you. I'm not going to tell you about this book. I'm not going to have you take this from me. This could be it is a piece of history. And because the politics of the moment say it's bad to have this, I'm not going to just give it over.
Well, I'll give a good example from my time at the gallery working with some first edition books that were unassuming at first, right? One of them was, I'll actually just leave with this because this is probably the craziest example of ones that I've seen that had nothing to do with alchemy or anything like that. This is Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book. Or was it Jungle Book? It was one of Rudyard Kipling's books, and it was first edition, right? And now, like I said, it wasn't the book itself that was the big drawing point. It was the fact that the watermark on just about every single page was a big elephant face with the swastika right underneath it and said Dutch East India Company. Now, I'm not sure if they produced the paper where they came in on the production process of that. But they were a Freemasonic company with Freemasonic origins, number one. Rudyard Kipling was a Freemason. We know that there were ties to a lot of the Germanic sects of Freemasonry at that time. I believe it was a Black Steine, which is like the black stone, which there's a bunch of like really, really creepy Freemason lodges with like cryptic German words written on the walls and stuff, like skeletons and things. That's from like the 1930s, from one of the black stone lodges. So you have the connection to runology as well, with the SS Antonerba, where it kind of ties into these things. So you can see
So black stone.
Yeah, the black stone, Steine, Steine.
Steiner.
Yeah, Schwarze is, I believe, the black in German. But Hitler and some of those, like Himmler, Goering, they were all members of this before everyone came out against the Nazis, right? So,
right. So this
this is pretty early on. The wacky part is that it had a swastika, right? But that's tying the Freemasons to the Dutch East India Trading Company, which tied itself to the royal family. Saxe-Coburg-Gotha was their original name, which was extremely German, and they changed it to Windsor to sound less German during World War II or the aftermath of World War II. So they wouldn't. I think it was actually after World War I they changed their name because of how fucking terrible Germany acted. But it's crazy that you'll never hear that. You'll never hear that the Dutch East India Trading Company was using swastikas in a very similar fashion that the Nazis used. And it's because the Nazis were doing something called runology with the Thule Society and the Vril. All that goes back to ancient Norse myths and stuff. Not taking any away from any of the crimes they did. It's just a very old tradition that a lot of that stuff ended with the Nazis because they did such bad things with those symbols and stuff. Those symbols couldn't get used again. So you have a whitewashing of Freemasonry in Germany around that time.
Yeah, it's not even. This is their Wikipedia. Yeah, definitely not. Don't see any.
Like this was probably a $40,000 book. You know, I don't know if the inside was ever photographed. It wasn't bound in skin either. It wasn't. Nothing was creepy about it. But just flipping through it, like I love to look at the first editions and stuff. Like especially when
Which book?
The Rudyard Kipling, like first edition.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can find Dutch East India Trading Company with swastika. Because it's an old logo. I believe there was like an elephant head on it as well.
Oh my goodness. Swastika. There we go.
Well, that's just that. I'm not seeing the actual image of the watermark. But unlike the Indian one, which is the normal one, it was turned to its side, like the crazy Nazi guys one.
Weird.
But it's rare enough that it doesn't show up, and it's a fucking watermark on first edition Rudyard Kipling's. So I mean, it's out there. If somebody has that in their collection, they'd be able to either fact check me or corroborate. You know. See if you can type Rudyard Kipling first edition watermark and see what pops up.
Oh. Is this it here?
Boom, that's a that's a lot less ornamentative than I remember.
That's pretty obvious.
Similar to that one. Now the one that I saw was elephant's face front forward with kind of like a banner and that thing underneath it. But yeah, that's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
See, we're doing a historical fact check right. And whoa, that's so funny. Because this isn't the ones that I saw, but it's close enough. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
see what I'm talking about.
that's crazy.
So now that would have been emblazoned in the same color as the page, but you just slightly move it so you can see the sheen in the light, and that's going to be on like just about every page.
Right.
But they won't tell you that.
Wow.
And now we type in Rudyard Kipling Freemason and see what pops up. Because I know there's a famous movie called The Man to Be King or The Man Who Will Be King, where the whole story revolves around Rudyard Kipling and Freemasonry. Ah, yeah, see.
Yeah, it looks like he was definitely. But that's the thing with these the secret societies, right? Is they're not gonna make it super easy for you to pin them down. And Freemason, the thing about Masons is like, I guess I feel like they're a secret society if you're just like anything else. If you're high enough on the chain and you matter. If not, you know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
and
matter.
plus I like to think of it too, like just with like any group of collaborators, because this is a greater group of collaborators, just with more wealth and influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a band, like you are going to have your problems with getting 5 people to do anything in
Right.
unison. Like whether it's going to be the sound that they want to have at the end, they're all not going to have the same idea. So trying to find like a healthy medium, and I think that's where you come with the Freemasons, because okay, so there's about 33 degrees. There's the
That we know
Scottish
of.
Rite. How many different rites are there? Yeah, it's just there's way too many to say that they all follow the same path. Maybe some coalesce. Also, maybe they all have 50 different ideas, and once in a while they overlap goals. I also wouldn't attribute them all to being evil. I've had many debates about this with people, like, because you won't have too much to convince me with some of the things they did do was evil. But I don't know. I believe they're human beings, so they're beset to human failure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Any organization, you know. What's up, Fascism Watch? We see you there. Thanks for hanging out. Freemasons, Fascism Watch says Freemasons are those making possible what the Rothschild Epstein Zionist nexus are achieving in some way, which could certainly be possible. Because the thing is like there are such things as useful idiots. I think we're finding out as we go through the Epstein files. There's those involved, and then there's definitely useful idiots as a thing. I don't know if that's what they are, but
Yeah, can we even call them that? Like, just because we saw that email where Epstein was bragging about telling that girl exactly what he was and watching her almost faint. So like I'm thinking everybody knew, because he kind of wanted them all to know.
God, right? Yeah. That was one crazy thing. I played about half of each deposition last night. I still have to go through the other half of each deposition, but they're just so full of shit, man. They're just so full of shit. They just lie and lie and lie and lie. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. The probably guys that are high up enough in this are proud of the damage that they're causing. Or I guess they would what? They would think it's good.
Well, yeah, it's like all right. So there's two things, right? Like there needs to be a person martyred for there to be a martyr, right? And now the people who benefit from the thing aren't the ones who are martyred, right? Like the people who ostensibly benefited from Jesus Christ's death wasn't Jesus Christ. It was every single other person on this planet by the doctrine. The doctrine would state that. Other people would beg to differ, but that's the modus operandi on that one, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have that with the revelation of the method a little bit. where you need to give people the opportunity for them to say, like, I'm willing to die on this hill, which is noble and stupid. I think that's a bit of it. And the other thing is, like, you need to give up the ghost a little bit in order for it to have any weight when it lands, right? Like, if we didn't hear anything about this Epstein shit up until last year, and let's say last year all the things would have dropped, you'd have had that very first group who would have looked into it, believed it was real. Everyone else would have been like, "Oh, it's not that bad," because that's exactly what everybody did in 2020 when it sort of dropped. Mm-hmm. Now we have all the evidence to back up all those claims, right? Like, imagine if that evidence had been out 5 years ago. It'd be a totally different story, maybe, but it might not be. It might actually have been worse than anthological shock to actually have that evidence in your face. So I don't know. These are also tried and true tricks learned through psychology and
magic.
Yeah, brain magic. You know what I mean? Though, like brain trickery. I would say.
Well, that's really, at the end of the day, that's really what magic is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not only creating the illusion, but creating the entire environment to where a totally common thing looks like an illusion.
I'll bring up It's Always Sunny, the Dennis system, man. Think of the Dennis system, right? Like, that's how he goes after women, because he's a fucking absolute psychopath. But that's how these people try to hack your brain. Right? Yeah. They go news story, chaos, to where you pop into this left-right paradigm where you don't see the gray area in between where, maybe there's some asshole who paid all these protesters to go stand there outside of this thing, which now everything is fucking paid for. I'm starting to think there's not a single actual protest because the people who used to protest have gotten annoyed by all the paid protesters who go there and subjugate their real cause for the paid-for bullshit one. Dude, I saw it happen in real time. Like, really? You had a bunch of crust punk kids, and now these were my friends, a bunch of crust punk, anti-politics, politic-driven punk rock kids,
right?
All on during the Wall Street, the Occupy Wall Street movement, and then within 2 weeks of a very genuine Wall Street is fucked up. Because remember, right after that followed the housing crash. Mm-hmm. So people were waking up at that time. You had a bunch of kids buying Starbucks and going to all the very expensive stores over there. So I don't know how crust punk kids with no job and shit could afford this. So it leads me to believe it wasn't the kids actually protesting. Came in and they dirtied the whole place up, which they were protesting about littering and global warming and all that shit then too, because they were a bunch of fools in that aspect. But then you saw the cops like really start ramping up and like no one was getting violent. This wasn't the protest that we saw in like 2018 to 2019, like the Summer of Love shit. This was people standing on the sidewalk and getting maced and put in zip ties. And like I saw it happen to at least 5 or 6 different people to where like then the real protesters... Yeah, well, they started dispersing, dude. Everyone left.
Yeah.
Everyone left. And then you had the kids who could afford to stand out there and have their parents bail them out of jail remaining, so.
Yeah. So I brought up these guys thinking, were these guys the Epstein magicians of their time? And what I think it also, and not to put these two people together because they could not be more further apart. But when I read the Edward Kelly John Dee story, right, I'm reading it. Am I crazy for saying, holy shit, that guy John Dee, it's like Chris Bledsoe?
Yeah, maybe if Chris Bledsoe is because the other speculation about John Dee was like he was very early Secret Service for the Queen, right? Like even his correspondence was signed off on with a little 007.
Right.
It was like a monocle, like not monocle, but spectacles, but it looked like 007.
Yeah.
So they believe he was some sort of intelligence, which I kind of believe too, because if you look at it, throughout time, you've always had the spiritual advisor. Even Trump has one.
Yeah.
Go look into that weirdo.
Right.
Anyone who wants to praise Trump for being
Well, I
a
mean,
God-loving and fearing man,
a
he's got
lot
a
of
weirdo in his
of cabinets have had like mediums and psychics, and so it's not like they're alone in this. I mean, the Reagans had one, right? Like
Hillary
famously.
had John of God. You know what I mean? And he
There you
got caught
go.
trafficking and doing all sorts of shit. And
Oh,
that was with
great.
like Marina Abramovich. Like, this is the thing. Oprah, all these celebrities went in and endorsed this guy. And then, so like his cult, they would all wear these white outfits. And then this guy would perform surgeries. He would do like open eye surgeries. And I think he gave somebody a liver transplant or something like that, or took an organ out and killed a guy. And then finally was arrested and whatever. But you have photographs of Marina Abramovich like holding somebody's eye open with a LED flashlight in their eyeball, while this John of God guy is like scraping the eyeball with a scalpel.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone knows how sharp a scalpel is, you're just touching that thing will split your skin open. You know, that's why they use it in the medical field. Yeah. One wrong blink and you're cutting your eye in half. No fucking problem. So I don't think this guy knew anything of what he was doing. But you had Oprah and them standing next to him while he's performing these things, going like, yeah, this guy is great. Insane. Hillary Clinton being one of those people.
Good Lord. Well, yeah, it to me, and I think you make a good point there. Fascism Watch is a test field for waves tests and Golden Dome capabilities. And as we see some of the Israeli defenses, you go, wow, those kind of look like orbs. Weird. They kind of move really fast and in strange directions and very quickly. It's crazy. Also, there's another important intelligence agency kind of based in Virginia, but, nobody mentions that.
I wonder how well orbs, because you're creating a pocket of ionized air turned into a plasma that it has a different signature than anything outside of it, right? Like, I wonder what the capabilities are of using that as a way of guiding heat-guided missiles away from a target or something like that,
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're seeing a lot of crazy shit. If you've seen any of the videos lately. But the reason my brain went to Bloodstow when I was researching this cast of characters here is because this guy's claiming I talk to orbs and I receive angelic messages from orbs, which is like exactly what Chris Bloodstow claims. I talked to the orb and I got a message. Did you see the orb picture they released that had some kind of number inside of it? I mean, I don't know. It's getting weird.
Yeah, but I didn't look too much into that. Mostly because like I can't look into it. Like you hit a wall with shit like that, and then it's mostly speculation. Like
right.
I don't know. I get yelled at too much for posting a photo that I'm just happy came out before AI Photoshop existed. When you had to do the Photoshop yourself.
Yes.
So like just posting those where I'm like, is this a real photo? Let's fucking make fun of this guy. I'll get screamed at. I'll get called Lou Elizondo number 2.
Man.
They go, what is this? A lampshade?
That's
And I go, could be a lampshade, but it's a fucking ugly lampshade.
Lou Elizondo number 6. That's what I think.
I don't even think I end up on that fucking list, my friend. Okay, the amount of clickbaiting I do is so minuscule. I think the last one that I did was April Fools. I wrote, come and look at my cheese moon findings. The moon is completely made of cheddar. Nobody fell for it.
It's true. Swiss cheese.
Actually, negative clicks. They said people avoided that post.
That's actually why we suspended your account.
Shit, I knew it. It's probably because I was telling the truth when I was lying that one time.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because the story, and you can research it yourself, folks, is if you look into the connection these guys had, Edward Kelly could certainly play the role of Travis Taylor, and John Dee could certainly play the role of Chris Bledsoe of their time. Except they were more on the occult magic side, whereas Bledsoe and Taylor sounds more like this kind of neo spiritual semi-Christian thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
also because I this is my passion now, right? Looking at all the old grimoires and trying to suss out what the fuck these wacky wizards were doing. And now it's weird because a lot of it didn't have a religious tinge to it until Theosophy reared its ugly head. Like I've got so many books from prior to 1520s where they're just discussing metallurgy, they're discussing chemistry, they're discussing the stars and hieroglyphics and stuff like not hieroglyphics. I always do this. The astrological signs, astrology, where they discuss.
Yeah.
So where they discuss all these things, and none of them have the religious tinge to them until you get to about 1600, and that's also around the time that you have John Dee and Ed Kelly, right, where they put this weird religious spin to all their magic shit. So I don't know. I'm wondering how much of it is just really awesome science that has been hidden under the guise, kind of like what Michael Aquino has done with his military career. He's tainted it with all his Satanism shit.
Yeah.
To where now you look at everything that he did as weird. Meanwhile, he probably got away with doing a lot of mediocre, shitty things that just got overlooked because it wasn't as wild as the other
some
stuff.
of the claims. You know? Yeah.
Yep.
I know when we had that conversation about some of the stuff it was claimed that he did. Oh my goodness, man. Just right up there with
a
stuff.
ton of evidence. Yeah, a ton of evidence too. It wasn't like there was nothing. The van that children described being trafficked in existed, and it was on the property when they conducted a raid. The rooms in question were there. The masks that supposedly, or I'm not even gonna say supposedly, the masks that they wore in the rituals were on the walls and on the property. The paint in the rooms exactly matched the paint in the kids' descriptions. And then in the tunnels, they found shit. Like,
fucking just tunnels!
Yeah, dude, tunnels yet again. But this is the crazy part, right? Some of them were like fallout tunnels, and then others were like dug out with like trench digging equipment. Right, like really crude aspects of these tunnels. So either they were done by human hands way older, which makes it a kind of a weird religious site that place was built on, or it was done very poorly by Michael Aquino and his buddies. You know, or maybe whoever got there before Aquino, but Aquino benefited off of it. Because this is the thing, they found concrete floors that turned to rubble and dirt nothing floors. Right, and then yeah, and you could also so you can't necessarily carbon date certain aspects, right? But if you have a super dense soil, right, and then in the path of what looks like a 6-foot trench, deep and 15-foot long, you find that has been disturbed, and there's that packed soil mixed in with the topsoil. You can tell that it's been disrupted. You can tell how long ago it was disrupted, and you can see the path for it. You know.
Yeah.
So that all those signs were there. You know, I mean, like
how did he not get fucking busted, man?
CIA, dude. He was CIA.
Oh my god!
If you look up,
fucks.
Right now, this is the crazy part. You know how you get the most information from FOIA on a FOIA request for Michael Aquino?
CIA?
Oh no, you get his request for the FOIA on himself, and that's what it turns up. You don't get any of the files that he got, but you got a description of what he got, like you see it with the Epstein files, right? We don't have everything, but we have fucking lists of everything that's there within
Yeah.
the pittance that we did get, right? Same thing with the Aquino shit. It talks about the evidence that they gathered on the raids and all sorts of stuff, but it doesn't give you an itemized list and then a description of those things. So you just get like a catalog of certain parts. You get to
Just what
see a
they
couple of
thought was
memos.
relevant.
Yeah, you get to see a couple of memos interagency wise. And that's it. But then everything is shooed away. He got told that there are parts of his career that he can't FOIA, and it's himself.
Yeah.
Usually you can FOIA yourself and you'll get everything, unless you were part of some super black budget programs that the CIA doesn't want anyone to fucking know about, which was his time. Like, remember when we went over his CV and there were at least 3 different classifications that he went to school for in officer school that were all at CIA headquarter bases within a CIA class doing the operation.
What, so
or training for said operation.
Do you think this is a situation where they were like, hey, go do whatever terrible thing you need to do to conjure the power. We just want to see if we can harness the power, kind of a thing?
Maybe. I think more MK Ultra, right? Like, we don't got to go spooky.
Okay.
We just go with you break a brain, you own a brain.
Well, yeah.
And that's
that's
kind of what they thought. Right now you're dealing, because I found some weird stuff too, like Operation Desert Storm was when, because I know that there were Middle East operations in the mid 80s.
Yeah, well, there's Desert Shield 90s, and then that turned into Desert Storm very quickly, like within a month.
The one before that, where we sent our special forces to go train in Afghanistan and in the mountains, in Iraq and Iran and stuff. Well before. This is the 80s.
Oh, well, okay, so this is we're helping
friends
the
with
Afghanis
Bin Laden's family.
Kill the Soviets, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly why the fuck we were there, but they gave us some cock and bull story.
Yeah,
supposedly.
That's what they tell us anyway. Yeah.
Supposedly. I think the Russians like the cold. I think that's their shtick. Not the
yeah, but they don't like RPGs.
Okay.
Just like us. We don't like RPGs either.
So the weird thing that I found out was okay, would you be weirded out to know that when you went in for your boot camp, everything was listed in your docket, right? Your baby, your wife, then every daycare that you would have gone into within the military, and then them following up with your children, especially after your death.
If I was getting after I died?
Yeah. This is also in, like I said, 80s special ops in Afghanistan you're being sent to.
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's like what happened with oh god, I can't think of the gentleman's name. The Trump Tower bomber, Lint or
get the fuck out of here.
Livelsberger. Yeah, they visited his wife afterwards and were talking to her about stuff. And then they tried to spread the rumor that their kid wasn't theirs. The military fucking liaison was telling the Sean Ryan show that their baby wasn't his.
See, like, because I noticed that a lot of them were single parents that were in the paperwork, right? But I find that really fucking weird, especially since, like, if they already see you as their property, I don't see it as a far too big of a stretch to then see your progeny as some sort of a lab rat to them for other things.
God, I would hope not, but my mind has been so blown so much these last couple months that who knows, man. It's not that I think the whole organization would be this. It's just that
well, we didn't even get to the crazy part yet. What if I were to tell you that some of the parents with the single parents with the child in the daycare were part of the group trying to sue Michael Aquino for those acts. That was around yeah, because like I said, this is mid 80s. This is all around the time that Aquino is being accused of these things.
Man.
So that's like how researching this is how I found out that shit, and then
what
looking
are they
into
claiming that like they knew nothing and it was kind of some kind of military operation.
So what happens with your children if you're a single parent, right? Like your spouse is not in the picture, you don't trust your child with them while you're gone, but you still have to do boot camp. You still have to then go and do your tour. What happens with your child? It stays in I guess military custody, right? Like daycare. No. What would happen?
Well, if you can't figure out what to do with your kid while you're in basic training, you don't go to basic training. I mean, they don't like take care of your kid. Your kid would have to go with a family member or something like that. Yeah, they don't have like a program. I mean, unless maybe they did then. Maybe look into that because I never heard of that when I was in.
Because this is one of the problems, like, because he wasn't there. He wasn't there to see his child for weeks on end. You know what I mean? Whether he's doing work on the base, volunteer work, whatever he's doing.
Now, there were people that would marry people that were just friends for the extra pay, right? And claim the kids for the extra breaks and all that kind of stuff. Because when you get deployed, if you have a family, you get paid a lot more. So, and even if you're not deployed, if you have a family, you get paid a little more. And so I know a lot of guys that were married to women they didn't, love just for the extra money, and they'd send them a little bit. So I know that was going on. So could some kind of similar thing have happened in the 70s, 80s when we didn't have 1/4 the ability to monitor what's going on with people as we do now? Absolutely. Could have been going on like some kind of back channel thing. It didn't have to be all on the up and up. Like, well, hey, we'll get you in. We'll watch your kid. I know this lady named Tammy. This is what she does.
Well, that was one of the weird things. Was like it was more than one parent who claimed this too. So like, yeah, I don't know. I have to look.
Sounds like something the CIA would cook up. Yeah.
Yeah, just real strange. Especially like this is also super elite special forces. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like like you know what it's like to have to deal with certain things. This is back in the 80s, mountainous desert terrain. Like,
oh Jesus, yeah.
So this is first off, you would have been the first unit going out there dealing with this. So it would have been like, tippy top quality soldier going out there for the first time. You know what I mean? Because this is also before any war or anything would have kicked off. This is reconnaissance and shit.
Special forces, yeah. These are badass guys. Yeah.
So I just wonder if they're willing to let you, just because you got a kid, you don't got to fulfill your contract. They spent millions on your training on, I wonder if that's where the line is. I guess
maybe I could see it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I was just, regular, nothing crazy. So, yeah, I could see that.
There's also the kids were preschool. Like McMartin was preschool and stuff, right? So this is before, that's what I'm saying. It's like before there would have been because then you could put it in a military boarding school. I know that was a thing. My friend was actually, his dad was fucking retired and put his son's ass in military boarding school.
Oh, wow.
Just to fuck because, probably with good reason. Like my friend was a little rambunctious, but I did that shit in like 7th grade. Pulled him right out of middle school, threw him right the fuck in there. So I know you
fucking
can do
around.
That.
Don't be fucking around. Sitting around. That's what I do to my son if he fucks up. But I'm just kidding. I would never do that.
Oh man, it was crazy.
So back to this thing. So you were mentioning the signs, astrology, and so I had this from what I was going through earlier, that Voynich manuscript.
The Voynich one is weird because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's like, so weird, right?
I would look up Hermes Trismegistus. He's a really good one. There's another guy. My favorite, Bombastus, mostly because he was the name that turned bombastic into what it is.
Yeah. Like the phrase.
Yeah. Type Alchemist Bombastus, and he will pop up. He is awesome because like everyone cites his work. But he's not super into the whole religious angle. Like when you read his stuff, it's all metallurgical. I had to probably read 3 of revisions of his stuff to find English and with a key to the symbols and stuff in there. But
well, so the religious thing and all that makes me think of the Codex Gigas, because you have like the Bible and then you have all these other books that like probably like if you showed someone from that went to church every Sunday in the South for the last 20 years, that book, they'd be like, get out of here, Satan.
well, yeah. Do you know how it was written too? Supposedly.
Yes, I know the legend, the kind of the mythos around it, and also it's the penmanship and everything else. Like there's just so many strange things in this book. It's 3.5 feet tall. It weighs 165 pounds.
And I'll just say Tracy Twyman, folks. Just Tracy Twyman. Because I feel like this book is right up her alley because it's
so crazy.
It's a version of automatic writing in the historical retelling of the myth of this, right? So that's the volume, the size of this thing, for that to be an automated process of divination to come up with that thing is pretty wild. The amount.
What do you mean by that?
600. It's like 600 pages. Kind of like so you have different types of scrying, is what it's called.
I see.
Sigil,
kind of channeling,
sigil magic.
sort of.
Yeah, it's
right.
like you have the sigil magic that John D. Ed Kelly did. You have
Chris Bledsoe.
Yeah, Chris Bledsoe, maybe, because
Did you see? I wanted to show you. Did you see the shirt I got on just for this episode?
Oh, awesome! Hell yeah! Sweet.
I was like, I got to throw my Hellfire Club shirt on. Yeah,
dude, I've got it was like 15 stickers. It was like a Stranger Things sticker pack, but I've got like a Scoops Ahoy thing. I've got just a whole bunch of them, and
dude,
half of them doesn't even say Stranger Things, which is like I love it because you can't.
You just gotta know,
the show 100 times, yeah,
exactly. But yeah, we definitely should do an episode or 2 on the Montauk stuff. I mean, that was so crazy. That's what I think of every time I think of Stranger Things, is the Montauk stuff. So, yeah, but yeah, so 3.5 feet tall is this book, 165 pounds in this book. If y'all are here, maybe you know the legend, maybe you don't. I'll tell a shortened version of it. Basically, a monk is threatened with their version of the death penalty, being walled into a wall and being left there until you die. Freaks him out, as being walled into a wall would. He begs for his life, begs for mercy. They say, okay, well, they give him parchment and paper, say, do something amazing, whatever the story goes, by the morning, and we'll reconsider. So he's slaving away. After a few hours, he realizes he's not getting anywhere. There's no way he's going to be able to produce anything that these higher up monks are going to think is, granted by God or anything, or some kind of higher power. So the wee hours of the morning, instead of praying to God, he makes a prayer to this guy, Mr. Satan. And
great googly moogly.
The great googly moogly.
So I like
and
to call
he apparently shows up and makes a deal. He'll help him create this book for his soul and, I don't know, a 6-pack or something.
What do you want, kid? So he pops out.
So then the monks come in the next morning and whoof, voila, there's a 3.5 foot tall book, and it's 165 pounds, and it's one of the most beautifully handwritten and artistically detailed books I've ever seen. I mean, the amount of level of detail that went into that calligraphy and some of this art, it was just next level. The crazy thing is, the researchers agree the same guy wrote it. The whole thing, from start to finish. But also, if the same guy wrote it, it would take him 20 years to write that if he never slept.
I'm gonna say
that's where we're at with this book. Yeah, that's where we're at with this book. Like, those are the known facts.
Now, can we tackle the other oddity, right? Like,
yes,
we're not talking about modern concrete here, folks, right? Like, why didn't he just Kool-Aid man himself back through the wall? You know,
like you mean of all the things you could just ask the devil for?
Well, not even that. The guy sat there and he's like, "Oh, you better hurry up." I'm like halfway through. He's like fucking slathering the cement on the brick. He's laying the brick.
Fair point.
Boom, bada bing. This is not
Fair
quick
point.
dry cement.
Yep.
You wait till he puts the last brick in and you go, "All right, I'll see you later, buddy."
Yeah.
You know, he takes off because he's got his
hit the goon over the head
break.
with one of the bricks. Yep.
Yeah, dude, fucking kick right through that. Bruce Lee.
But dude, people weren't
punch.
Very smart back then, Flak.
What, dude? You're telling me they had a guard standing outside waiting for him? Maybe. Okay, I'll take that.
They just weren't too bright back then. If you could write back then, they were like, oh. So, you know,
I think we just
forget
gave
the crowd.
up. I would have lost every prisoner that way. In the morning, I would have showed up and gone like, "Why is there a hole in this wall in the shape of a human being running?"
I go home to eat my turkey. I come back.
I smoke one pack of cigarettes on my break. And
what do you make of this? I mean, I'm sure I know you get super excited with researching this stuff. When you look at the Codex Gigas, what do you make of it?
Okay, all right. I don't know. Maybe a miracle. Right. If not,
like in the other way.
Yeah, maybe not in the religious
miracle for Satan.
Well, not even that. I'm just thinking of it, just a normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill miracle where somebody got in the zone and was able to do the insurmountable.
But there's some things that just aren't possible.
I guess,
so maybe he created a page or
motivation.
two. Maybe he created a page or two, and they were so impressed with it, they gave him the next 30 years of his life to just keep going. They're like, the second you stop writing, you're dead.
Oh, maybe, yeah, could be. You don't know how long they measured days in that specific village.
24 hours.
You know,
that's why I said it. That's why I said if he didn't
moon
sleep.
cycle.
Yeah, 20 years if he didn't sleep is how long they figured it would take for one person to sit down and write this thing start to finish. And here, the other thing is that there is no fatigue shown anywhere. The penmanship is maintained through the entire book. Like, I already have chicken scratch. Catch me after I've written 10 pages. It's beyond chicken scratch.
Yep.
This was 650
right?
pages.
10 pages. Dude, on page 5, I'm already looking for the fucking exit. Okay?
Thank you. Right. And he's doing all this crazy artistic. I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane.
Actually, that might be how you get me to stay there. Is so you go, okay, all right, you get to draw all the images, and then I'll sit there for hours.
Oh, there you go.
The second I just got to start, and I even like script.
Like, you're a monk back then. You're like, you're gonna feed me, and I get to draw all day. Fucking, let's go.
Oh man, Marginalia would have
that's
been
the life.
Because you
that
would
was
have
the life in 1620.
Oh, have you seen some of the Marginalia where it's like the rabbits like blowing a trumpet up a monkey's butt and weird shit like that?
What?
Oh, type crazy Marginalia into the search bar and you'll find some
Let me
of the funniest stuff ever. Because this is all monks from like 200-300 years ago with nothing to fucking do all day. Type crazy Marginalia.
I probably misspelled that, but Atlas Obscurus. I guess we can just go to the images, huh?
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh, wow. The hell's going on here, Flak?
The weirdest shit, dude. And this is on like a normal book. You know what I mean? Like this. Look at that one.
Shit.
Look at that one. What did that rabbit, or what did that guy ever do to that poor rabbit? Well, this will be in a book
Damn.
about like I don't know, normal shit.
Oh, that's
Has
totally
nothing to do
normal.
with these things.
Yeah.
It would be like a monkey pooping on a bird or something like that. Just the weirdest stuff, dude.
What?
Like that? What the hell is going on
Oh my god. But this is during the Dark Ages, right?
Yep.
You ever see that
Easily
movie Bruce
can-
Almighty?
Oh, yes.
Since Jim Carrey's so big right now. Jim Carrey's so hot right now.
He's so hot right now.
Bruce Almighty, where he's like, don't you ever get tired of taking vacation? He's like, you heard of the Dark Ages?
Oh,
look at this
he
shit.
reminds me of well, just the blue steel.
Oh, here you go. Here's
like
your
a
pooper.
a bad blue steel. Yeah, that's the what's going on there. It's like a snake. It's pooing on a snake. This this is what happens when you study with your head in your own ass. You know, look at that one. That one doesn't even make any sense.
Just a monkey with the arrow on its ass. Is that a monkey? I think that's a monkey, right? Yeah,
Something.
monkey getting keistered. So what are we looking at? This is just some religious text or magic
Some religious.
text,
I'm pretty sure some is like a music book. Some of them is like a Bible. You know.
That's the thing, and that's So it's like the Gigas in that way, in where you have the entire Old Testament, New Testament of the Bible, and then also all of this insane stuff like alchemy and magic and different practices, science, philosophy, like all this different stuff on top of both versions of the Bible, or both books of the Bible. I wonder if it was just like that was their ancient server. That was the cloud back then. Just putting it all in one place. Put it all in one big ass book. Everything we think we know.
There's a man called Albrecht Dürer, and he has one where it's probably one of the best Marginalia books, but this one is like religious and esoteric themed. So you'll have Christ with like 15 arrows in him and stuff like that. So this is just his artwork. But he has a book of Marginalia that he did for a specific Bible.
Wow. Yeah.
But this guy's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. 1500s
that's the art
too.
In the margins, right? That's why it's called Marginalia.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing in the Gigas is the insane artwork and the margins as well. So how does one? So your answer to that is you think he just got lucky?
Yeah,
well,
maybe. I just think that's probably the best motivation you'll ever have in your life is like by the edge of a sword.
Life?
Yeah. Like a head on the chopping block. I feel like if anyone's going to complete that task, it's somebody with that kind of deal in the background going on. It's like, all right, it's either my life or this book. I choose the book.
So the Voynich one recently, it has come out. I like to give the folks the actual facts if I can first, but recently it has come out that this may have been an attempt at a fake, but it was done years and years, talking early 1600s.
Yeah, still a
they
early
believe
fake where it would still be history, but
yeah, if it wasn't a fake, then they believe it came from 1400s from the Ford guy. But it's called the Voynich manuscript because the Voynich guy is the one who acquired it from this kind of secretive, exclusive collection. And he always wanted to sell it for a bunch of money, but he never could. This note here, after he died, his wife wrote this note and stuck it inside this book, this manuscript, and then stuck it in a safety deposit box. It says, concerning the cipher not to be opened till after my death, and then only by A.M. Nil or one other responsible person in place of her. So not her and one person. She can choose someone to go for her if she wants to go.
Yeah,
through
this is leaning more towards hoax when you start having things like this. When it's already a heavily encrypted text, and then the key needs to be obscured by many deaths and time in between. Like it's a fantastic manuscript. Like I do love it, but I'm not going to attribute what she says just because that could have been hoaxed as well. You know, there's so many different weird inconsistencies with like if you're really sitting on something like this, you're going to get it verified, and you're going to have experts come in and look at it secretly. But you would have all that
you would
provenance
think,
and
right?
data with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think.
Well, if you cared enough to go through the lengths of putting it in a deposit box and making sure that people only open it after you're dead, like that means you cared about it in some way, shape, or form.
Well, he wanted to sell it apparently. So the actual timeline, if it's not a hoax, is there's an unknown author writes this somewhere in Europe in the early 1400s. It's rumored it was Ford. The next time we know about it is the late 1500s in Prague, and it's owned by Rudolf II and possibly handled by Jacobus de Panis. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Then in the 1600s, it's passed to Johannes Marcus Marci. 1665, it's sent to Athanasius Kircher in Rome, and then he puts it in the Jesuit archives. It's in the Jesuit archives for 250 years, and then in 1912, Voynich purchases it from the Jesuit order, and he can never sell it for a profit. But what's believed now is that somewhere in the 15s or 1600s, somebody just made it and then said it was from an earlier time. But it's still a very fascinating document. Like you look here, you can see it's talking about astrological signs many moons before a lot of people were talking about astrological signs. And some of the artwork in it is also very impressive for that time. And then some of the writings, so if you run it through a program apparently called Zipf's Law, have you heard of this? So here's the thing about, we lost Flak. So here's the crazy thing about the writing is that it's in gibberish, essentially. So that's why they believe it was a cipher.
Here, I'm going to send you a couple of photos that I have, just because
Let's do it.
I want people to understand that, like, these are incredibly intelligent people. People have mapped these things out before we even realized there was something that could be mapped with greater significance to the information over time. So I'm going to show you this, and it's I think this is like 1500s, but it's like, I don't know, it's just really cool. Just give me 1 second.
Absolutely, yeah. So basically, if we looked at this book, it would just look like gibberish. Right. So they have these, when there's a cipher, there's these different rules, laws, programs you can use to try to make sense of different encrypted messages. And one of them is called Zipf's Law. And it's a pattern found in natural languages. And if you go through this document using that practice, you do find grammatical clusters, and that statistically what's written there behaves like a genuine language, meaning someone probably spoke this language at some point. So I don't know. It kind of goes back and forth with me, like whether it was a fraud or not. And even if it was a fraud, was it created with an above average crazy intelligence, you know? Like how the fuck did Joan of Arc know how to fight war at 14 and win? And not just win, but like dominate with smaller forces. I don't know. Like, could that have happened here?
You're not going to like the answer to this one, but she was friends with a French serial killer who was extremely well linked with the monarchy and a lot of different
war school.
Areas. Pretty much, that's what I think. I think what happened was
University of Napoleon.
Well, you have same thing as within manuscripts and grimoires and stuff like that. You have war college things that go way back to the time of Caesar, right? And now these things were just as valuable, if not 10 times more valuable than the magical texts, because this is like actionable intelligence for winning a war, like The Art of War by Sun Tzu. That was a war manual that would not have been on the normal shelf of just a commoner, you know.
Well, commoners didn't know how to read.
Yeah, so I just like Caesar figured out that the tense movement of soldiers in battle, whether it be a right step or a left step, prior to moving, would create a wave across the battlefront. So you'd be able to notice this a second or two before they would charge. So you'd be able to counter whatever move a little quicker, knowing these things, right? So this is all back in ancient history. So I just think that she was alluded to better books and things because of her friendships at the time. But now, so what I sent you was these are...
we got it up here. This isn't going to curse me, is it?
No, this is a bit of alchemical.
What this text, is a hex, and you just downloaded it, so thank God it's off my hands.
It's called Ancient Malware. Enjoy. Chain letter received. Curse lifted.
But, so what is this? Oh, it looks crazy, man.
This is the times of year that certain things are in view. You have Mercury, you have Venus, you have the sun, the moon, just astrological symbols, and then the times of the year that they're visible, right? But this is just a quick chart from 1500s where people were able to do this. And now the symbols are nothing more than just them going like, okay, we need a way for like a quick hand, so we don't have to write out VENUS. Sometimes I'm also assuming that this is because they would have been strung up as a witch for holding certain ideas, you know.
Well, that's like, so this was from the Soiga book I was talking about when we first got going after all the technical difficulties. But that is kind of what that is. It has these 36 by 36 blocks, and it's just a big ass cipher with all these symbols and.
Oh, the easiest way to go through this would be the depression marks, right? So you now this is just cryptography 101. You're trying to look for any discrepancies, you know, any misspellings, any. You look for what is that?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Fascism.
This does look like that. Oh,
I would not know what that looks like.
But yeah. Like I would look for inconsistencies. Any of those depressions that are darker, lighter, slightly raised above the normal script of the thing. You know, like and then try to look for then the matches. You know what I mean? Like consistent patterns, and then you work it the opposite way.
Yeah, I had run this through AI to improve the look of it, because as you see, it's not a great image there, but that's what you can find. So let me get that loaded up here.
So this wouldn't be too hard if you can at least trace a couple of the symbols to a definable alphabet.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And another thing I wanted to mention about all this is that in spite of having computers, internet, huge bandwidth of professional opinions,
Oh, also,
AI,
quickly,
and yeah.
just because this popped back up right now, what shape do you see there? Like because to me it looks like a helixical shape, right? It looks like a helix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you imagine the Earth at the bottom of this, right, viewing everything from the stars, these people were mapping out the spin rate of the Earth, and they were also mapping out the corkscrew-like effect that the galaxy shows from our vantage point. You know what I mean? Like through this rudimentary little diagram, you could already tell that they had more advanced knowledge of space than we give them credit for back in the 1500s. You know?
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about a little bit about not. I don't think so much on this episode, but we've talked a little bit about the Necronomicon. And is that something? That's something that went from like mythos to, or I'm sorry, it went from like fiction to mythos.
Yeah.
And you like went down that rabbit hole, didn't you? Like trying to figure out if it was real or not.
Oh yeah, big time. Because I very much so liked Lovecraft, and as far as anyone can tell, is the first one really mentioning it. But what we do see in archives and stuff like that is a couple of really good fakes that are known to be fakes, but often get passed off as legitimate things. But there is not
Right.
a single skin-bound Necronomicon out there. I've looked. It
There's
turns out
one.
that well, the Sam Raimi one is, I think, the only one in history, but it's well known enough, man, which makes me so fucking happy that he's made the history books for at least something.
Good God. So another interesting thing. When I see this, I think
Do you want some
that
more from that book? That book's got some cool shit in it, man.
sure, yeah, or just give me the book, yeah. But when I see that, I think these folks were much more intelligent, at least this group of folks, than they were given credit for. Um, I mean, that's pretty incredible to do when you think of the limited access to God. I mean, they barely had the scientific method at that point, right? Like the scientific method was new, and they were doing this stuff. It's crazy. Um, and some of it, like the medical texts, are crazy as well. And when we go back to the skin books, the fact that doctors would just like grab a slab of skin and make it a pocketbook cover is just insane to us. But back then it was like, yeah, whatever. It's this or I take the skin off of a goat, and I just so happen to work in a factory of dead people, so I'll just take it off a dead person. But the one where the guy takes it and makes a book out of it about your soul, that's weird. Because you like took skin without somebody knowing about it off of their body, and then you made a book about what the soul is and kind of like the moral journey of the soul and stuff like that. Oh, yep, I'm getting these images here. Holy crap. Yeah, these look crazy, man. Let me get them downloaded. And then, I hate to beat a dead horse, but then also going back to this one, the Codex Gigas is. I just can't get over how was that man supposed to have done? How is one person I couldn't write that over 20 to 40 years.
Well, then knowing the lore enough to be able to write that, like you'd have to. So like because he took on the Bible, right? Like
The
going
Old
through.
Testament, the New Testament.
Yeah, so like
Um,
you'd have to know that pretty fucking well to be able to tell the story in a cohesive enough manner to make a book or a manuscript, you know. I
well,
sent you over the full manuscript,
wasn't
by the way.
wasn't his name like Reclusius or something like that? Like he was a recluse.
Probably where the name came from as
I think
well.
it was. Yeah, yeah. Pretty funny stuff. Crazy. Okay, let me get these loaded up here. So this is from the same book. Well, I'm sorry. What book is this again? I know you said it, but I think I
It's
was.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't even have a real definable name to it. Like it's a translated manuscript from, I believe, German and then French, where it hasn't been translated to English.
Holy
So like
shit!
I know what a lot of the symbols mean. I've been studying enough of this stuff that I can translate. Aside from the words are easier because you just got to throw it into a translate app. But the symbology is what I'm having more fun with, or symbolism, I should say.
Yeah, dude, this is.
Show the one with the
So
cross.
tell us
It's
what
got
what
another
we're
one with
looking at
the,
here. What are we
All right,
looking
so
at?
in my opinion, you're looking straight up at alchemy, right? On either side, you have there's 7 what looks like lemons, and then there's 8 lemons. There's 6 on either. Well, there's 6 altogether on either side of the
Mm-hmm.
entrance. You have the all-seeing eye, and wrapped around that is even more eyes. We have where is it? The 2 triangles. What's weird about this one is this one is such a wild one, dude. Like now that I'm looking at this
Is
specific
that
one,
so? Is that like a Star of David down there? But it wasn't the Star of David
Fruit of
then,
Life.
right?
And yeah, this wasn't the Star of David then. This is before it was.
Plus, the Star of David doesn't it have like 2 tips at the base or something? Or am I tripping?
I think you're tripping a little bit,
Okay.
just a tad bit, because I don't think the orientation really matters, but I do think it's 1 point up, 1 point down. Yeah,
That's so wild.
I don't know. I'm
Man.
just caught up in looking at this.
We've got
So
a
when you do,
fruit tree. We've got a hand. We've got. What's crazy too is you could say that bottom could be somewhat representative of you know,
well, it's the Tree
your
of
little
Life
buddy
is
down there.
Tree of Life is what it's signifying.
Okay.
If you look at it in alchemical text, this is explaining to you how a still would work, right? To a certain degree, depending upon what process you're doing, you'd have a different stove thing that you're working off of. But with this one, because like I said, I don't speak French nearly well enough to figure out what any of this says without
Yeah.
using the translator. But you have the above, the below. That's the both triangles right there, which
Right.
which
What I think
it's
is
like
interesting.
earth and then air. Basically, the 4 elements work out to be either above or below. Below meaning from the earth, above being of like invisible ethereal things. It's hard to explain because you have to get into how things break down metallurgically wise. Like you have the secret fire, which sometimes can be construed as an acid, sometimes an acetone, sometimes it could just be using fire to break something down to its absolute carbon footprint. Yeah.
It's interesting because the background in the image, like when I'm just looking at the image as a whole, above looks like that should be below, and what's below looks like that should be above, right? Like everything on the bottom half of the picture almost, looks like life, and then everything on the top half of the picture looks like death. To me,
Well,
just layman.
we can look at the phallic representation of the balls at the bottom.
Right,
Right.
absolutely.
and then how the tree of life seems to be springing out of that.
Right.
Because that's what it's saying. It's the fruit of the tree of life, and then the fruit of, what is that? Le fruit de la vie. Yeah. So you have 6, you have 7, and then you have 8, which I'm assuming those have to do with the elements involved, and then the 8 is the transmutation of said elements into.
Yeah, and there's like
prima
2 elements. I'm guessing those are 2 elements at the bottom. STUUM.
Well, that would be the
one on each ball sack.
I would assume those are both sides. You know, like, because you have a triangle and then a triangle with a line, and you have an upside down triangle and a upside down triangle with a line. The upside down triangles go together in the like, it's supposed to be the moon and the sun, the mother and the father. The mother is, I believe, the moon. So it's like we talked about that with the Baphomet, how you'll have usually a white sun and then a black sun. One of those would usually mean the moon.
That's nuts. Here's the other one, which is also very interesting. It's like numbered, but it's the same number. It's 4 sides, a number 4, 8 hands, I guess. So we have like some kind of multiple of 4. We've got 4 on the top.
It's the different elements, right? And that is the relationship to each other, is what that handshake signifies. Now you have, I believe that's quicksilver, gold, and tin. You also can swap that out for sulfur, which is that first little sign there in the circled hands, right? So then you have the description of each of the 4 around itself.
That's so crazy. And I mean, this is how their brains worked back then. At least intelligent folks. You have visual, you have also knowledge. I mean, you didn't have computers and spreadsheets and internet and stuff like that, right?
Plus, the church understood that certain knowledge need to be hidden from the public, right? And just education alone can create a good enough firewall to prevent most people from even understanding. We're still trying to figure out what some of this stuff means today. You know, I'm not an inducted member of any of these secret societies, so I don't know for sure.
Get out of here!
But listen, I don't know what they get up to in those fancy little secret rooms. All right, I don't really want to know either. I kind of want to know, but I don't want to know well enough. I'm willing to go with no secret. Funny,
like I'll watch a documentary about it, but I won't make the documentary about it.
Yep. Enjoy breathing a little too much, I think.
We were talking about the margin art. This is again going back to the Codex Gigas, but this is just one example there of some of the art in the margin. Like, one guy did this. One guy did that?
So that's a wild, dude.
It's just crazy. It's 650 pages, and 10 pages is missing. It just so happens the 10 pages it missing are like the rules on how to be a monk, and it's from a monastery.
Dude, it's all
the rules on how to be a monk are missing. Yeah, 10 pages, which would have put it at 660, which makes me feel like there's also another 6 pages we didn't know about that's missing. Because why would you go that far and not make it 666 pages?
Yep. Yeah, that is strange. Very strange.
Am I tripping? I mean, maybe I'm reaching there, but it just seems
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, if you got 10 pages missing, you could definitely have another 6 missing you don't know about. And there you go. It was potentially, originally 666 pages on top of all the other weird shit in this book.
See, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to cover now, because we kind of ran the gambit, dude.
Well,
we did it.
Yeah, so we're going to.
Well, we didn't even dive into the Epstein shit. I feel like the next one we can now do beef jerky. We can talk about the beef jerky, and It'll at least make somewhat of sense when we get into the cryptic language.
I am working on gathering the most compelling beef jerky emails, and I can't choose. That's how fucking crazy this is.
Oh, man. Yep.
It's so crazy. And then, like, I was talking with my wife, and I was like, well, maybe, because when I read, some of it sounds like sneaky drug chat. You know, like, I need my jerky. You know, like, oh no, you need your dose. You know. But then, like, some of it's like, you wouldn't ask your drug dealer for their recipe. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That I keep going back to, these are health freaks. These are billionaire health freaks that are willing to wipe out half the planet if it means they don't got to deal with our germies, you know, like our filthy bacteria of the plebs. To where I don't think he's eating beef jerky. That's not the most healthy option. You know, and I don't think he's into ketosis.
It's disturbing, to say the least. And then you notice the people that are also messaging and like almost excited about it. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting episode for sure. And then this is one we didn't get into much, but I definitely, if this is a topic you're interested in, check out the Book of Soiga, because that's one, unlike the other one, the Voynich one we talked about. The Soiga one is kind of legitimate. It's a pretty legitimate occult book that's been around for a very, very long time. It's not wrapped in human skin, but it does have a lot of, I mean, look at that. We're talking about 1400s, 1500s. Look at the detail of that. I mean, it's crazy. Of course, that's AI adjusted, so we could actually see it. But that's incredible that they were doing this back then. I'm going
to send you one picture right now. That everyone in the audience who's a fan of the Tracy Twyman work that we have done, you're going to really appreciate this one.
Oh boy. Is it Baphomet?
This is the original Baphomet. Okay, this is the original one. Yeah.
This is what Tracy says was the original.
Well, not so much what she claims is the original, but if you follow that logic, the gods of like Saturn and the eating of one's progeny,
yeah, the Titans and then the gods, right?
Yeah. So this one is of Saturn eating his own, which is in a alchemical text that's 900 pages long. I don't even know how many different alchemists are in this book, but this is the second page in the book. So I haven't been able to translate most of this book. I don't understand fully what I'm looking at. This I know what I'm looking at. This is the description of basically bringing things down to their baser elements in order to bring them back up, you know, to achieve divineness through absolute desolation. Sort of what an alchemist was about, sort of what Baphomet was, the archetype of the alchemist. You know what I mean? The ability to transmute from one thing to the other. So if you zoom into the top,
do you know any alchemists? Any practicing alchemists?
No, maybe maybe some of our chemistry friends, we could call them alchemists. But I don't know if anybody even considers themselves it now. It's such an antiquated term. Like, I'm the only one fighting this battle here of yelling at people for calling them alchemists and being like, just say scientists, you bozo.
Right. Oh, I see. So that's the thing. But here's the thing. They do it. Some of it is like straight magic though, right? Like parlor tricks, some of it.
Maybe if you're trying to sell it to the queen, but I think if you're doing this to try and like actually just do science, most of the time. I should write a book because I don't want to not be paid for 15 years of looking into things, but like I also don't want people going around saying the wrong stuff, or maybe somebody else.
Don't
has
worry,
come to the
nobody's
same
watching.
Conclusion. But so like my opinion is, you're looking for a way in antiquated times where you don't have central air conditioning, you don't have any way of creating the atmosphere around the environment in order to create the things you're looking for, right? There's a certain, like I was just trying to look for one, I can't find it, but it describes the red lion process, which is one of the steps in attaining the philosopher's stone, which is supposedly one of the main tenets of becoming an alchemist.
You can't just order it on Amazon?
No, you can't order that on Amazon. Are you kidding me?
That's lame.
You're like 1/14th the step away from the
if I can't just order it online, I don't want shit to do with it.
All right. Well, life hack Temu. Wink, wink. Look on Temu. They've got a couple of philosophers.
Mail order alchemy set.
But now this is the thing. The philosopher's stone is bullshit anyway. Just a term, because it could mean one of several different things. An actual substance, like maybe not so much a emerald tablet like you would imagine maybe a philosopher's stone to be, or something like that, but like an actual substance. Another one is a liquid tincture, and the other would be the white powder that has the power to transmute and multiply things. Like, let's say you take lead, you can turn it into 3 times the amount of gold that lead was there. There's an ability to do that. I mean, monoatomic gold is a thing, and
I've heard of that.
Say what you will about it. You know, I think it was Tom Hudson who came up with the process and then patented it in the 50s.
I mean, we have companies that grow diamonds in labs, right?
Yep,
so
that's
you
just
could call
pressure.
that alchemy.
You know, that's just the right amount of pressure, and you can create precious stones. You know, this is a way of doing something similar, but
taking one liquid and turning it to another.
So now, in order to precipitate certain things, like you have an ampule, you have whatever mixture is in said ampule, whether it's quicksilver, i.e. mercury, or sulfur, or tin, lead, any of those. Breaking those down until it looks like ash. Then you break it down further until it looks like red ash. You break it down further until it looks like white, completely bleached white ash. And then there's supposed to be a precipitation effect that happens inside where it turns into gold. And people have done this, recreated this in recent times, but you have to just create the lab environment, right? So back then, you'd have to wait till maybe it was a certain time of the year in England where it's especially cool out but humid, to where you have some condensation that's happening inside your ampule. You know,
it's like ancient AC.
Yeah. But knowing what time of year is going to yield the best results, right? So if you look at more modern spell casting, right? You look at Babylon working and stuff. That's what that was, right? It had to be at a certain time of the year, certain time of the day, certain alignment of stars.
This is a thing where, because the church couldn't understand it, they label it evil?
Maybe. I think the church had a greater understanding than most philosophers of the time did. You have to understand, they were the original scientists. You know what I mean? Like the church had their own astrology department. Right. The church even today has one of the best telescopes in the world.
A couple of them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess what I meant by that is, do you think that they were maybe threatened by people that were intelligent that could do this stuff, but would not claim the church?
Yeah,
and so they would just say, "Oh, he's evil. Look at him doing the evil magic stuff," even though they know, it's not.
Well, worst case scenario, right? Like we could take the magic out of it, right? We leave the magic on the doorstep. Worst case scenario, this was a very intelligent way to forge certain precious stones, precious elements, things like that, right? To where you could hose a royal family for millions, right? Where I guarantee you there were some who were doing that. This is the story of Rapunzel, 100%. Right?
Yeah.
Well, the tale of Rapunzel. I'm not going to try and say that's history, but I mean, like, we have tellings like that that date back to.
We have real. We have I mean, we have real examples too. So,
plus there were at least 3 different royal families. Oh, yeah. But there were 3 different royal families who actually hired an alchemist to come in, because this is the thing: you would make a claim as a scientist, then someone would hear that claim, bring it to the queen, and go, "Hey, Queenie," or "Hey, King, this guy's making this claim, and if he's telling the truth, you better get him in here, because, like, we could use that fucking gold." So what they would do is they would do it, and then the guy, and now this is in front of the royal court, so it's many people watching this, go on for days at a time. He'll do it, and then they would struck commemoratory things out of it. One of them made armor for the suit of arms for the king. At one point, another was struck into like 15 ingots of gold, saying it was made by the alchemical process. And you could look this up. And then there was another one very similar, where there was another coin that was struck that said something else. By the divine transmutation, this gold was acquired, written in like Latin.
Right.
So you have enough examples where the plausibility is there, but you also have the plausibility of, like, because man, they're talking about creating what would be gun bluing, or a patinization process for turning what looks for taking silver and patinizing it to make it look like gold. But once you start rubbing it, the gold will wipe away. So like, I'm seeing evidence on both ends that it could work, and that it's a great way to counterfeit things.
Right. Ancient counterfeiting. Huh. Yeah.
Oh, I texted
crazy.
you. I texted you that whole file of that entire book.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I'm gonna have to download that. That sounds nuts. Or it looks nuts. And the ancient gods, man, that's a whole nother show. Like the Titans, the gods.
And then the relevance of Greek, Phoenician, and all those texts that want to basically creating the tenets for most of Freemasonry, right? And then you add the Egyptian hieroglyphical angle of it all, and the Eastern esotericism. Like, it all gets so strange, buddy.
Let's not forget this little group that uses a ton of symbolism on, like,
North
all their
American
and everything else.
Silliness activity zone is what I like to call them. Nessaz, for sure.
Okay, so it's official now. I've had more technical issues tonight than on any show I've ever done.
This one wasn't so bad. We debunked more than we put out in spooky fucking nonsense.
Very true, very true. But no, I just mean like personal equipment stuff. But yeah, if you look in the NASA patches, there are so many that tie into those ancient gods and titans and
dude,
Latin.
I love you brought that up, because I'm not trying to take us on another tangent. I know we're going to be winding down, but just because you mentioned the patches, the same way with the other image that I sent you with the little lemons in the tree, you count. You're supposed to be counting those things, right? So you have 6 in his hand. Right? You have 7 on one side, you have 8 on the other side, right? If you're looking at NASA patches, you're looking at test flight patches, you're looking at anything from the military, look at the stars, look at the amount of similar images in the thing, because that will tell you everything you need to know. The ones where it'll have 5 stars and 1 star on the other side, that's Area 51. That's Dulce base. You have a lot of things like that. So where they took the same ideas from alchemy, they're translating those into esoteric information being passed along in patches, which you can thank Jack Parsons for that. You know, Jack,
right?
yeah, but he was the first one to bring that into the fold, the official fold, you know, or at least he was.
Man.
He was the one who they painted that with. Maybe he wasn't the first, but he was the first we know about.
I think that is so crazy how Lovecraft just stole his money and his wife.
Oh, L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh,
yeah.
L. Ron. I'm sorry. L. Ron just stole his money and his wife. I'll take that.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Parsons is a bit of a fucking idiot.
But that's what I mean. Like, how could this man be an idiot? Like, he helped develop. If it weren't for him, would we even have a moon landing in 1969? Would that even have happened?
Well, yeah, no, and yeah, and no. Like, I don't think he really had too much to do with that. By the time that happened, we had von Braun, who was like, he was the smart one. He came in and revolutionized all of rocketry in like one fell swoop. Because when Jack Parsons was doing it, he was more of the fuck around to find out kind of guy. He didn't mind blowing himself up 15 times before figuring out the right way. Yeah, totally did.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, that what a just insane history that whole thing is. The paperclip, the Nazis, the NASA programs, the occultists behind it. It's just so crazy. Like, you seriously can go down that rabbit hole for days on end. God, it's just nuts. I think that we should do something on them too. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Because some of those people like still have living relatives and stuff. The big names, they don't so much like to talk about it, but there's like a lot of people out there that maybe it wasn't the wife, but maybe the cousin's kid or some shit like that. So I'd love to get someone on that has some kind of personal relationship to any of those guys. Parsons, von Braun, any of them. It's just so crazy. What a history.
If you have a Ouija board, we could just get them right on the podcast. Just get them right on the show, buddy.
I told you, I
Tracy Twyman, dude. We got a Tracy.
Can't do the Ouija
I'm not
board.
doing it. By the way, I won't do it. So,
but I will. You know what I will do? I will call one of those weird places live on the show. I think that'd be great.
We'll call Miss Cleo, even though I think she's already out of business, but which sucks for us because we could have had her do all our dirty work for us, and not we wouldn't have occurred any of the curses.
Oh, buddy. All right. Well, so I guess we'll wrap this one up. I still need to. Oh my God, I still have like 5 hours of that Clinton deposition. I want to get on my channel, so still got to get that done. I don't know if you want to hang out for that sometime.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's pretty humorous.
Dude, this morning was not fun. Man, I've been dealing with
I would imagine
fucking roof work, so I haven't been sleeping that great. Then I had to get up super early. They came by at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's always so
to fucking start that
like
shit.
No matter how hard the work crews try to make it comfortable and not a pain, it's just hard to get comfortable when there's people working around in your house. It really is. Like just on like a being comfortable, level. Having strangers in and out of your house never feels good, I don't think.
And it's tricky too, because like in Florida, you got to start so early on anything you do outside, because it reaches like
oh right, the temperature.
Peak temperature by like 8-9 o'clock in the morning. By 10, it's already just about as hot as it's gonna get all day. It's not as bad as Arizona. By like 6 a.m. you're already 95 degrees.
Yeah,
But so these
Yeah.
guys, they come super early they're doing had to redo a bunch of tile work up there. So they're sitting on a tar fucking roof in the sun, like, dude, it's not fun work. I
Good
wouldn't want to have to
times.
do that on a slanted roof, no less, dude.
Hell
I'd be
no.
dead. Fell on my head. First
Well,
week on the job.
what was the temperature where you were today?
Oh, it wasn't so bad, dude. It was probably like maybe 80
Oh my god.
hottest, but
I think it was like 57 where I am and rainy. See, I prefer the cold as opposed to the warm. My philosophy is you can always add another layer, but you can only get so naked.
yeah, true. True. I
Yeah.
also never get naked, so that's a
Not even
that's
for
a
shows.
problem. Yeah, no, dude, never nude, man. Fucking me and Tobias Funke
I'm
are
ashamed. I'm ashamed. I
Oh,
can't do
man.
it. Oh shit! All right, well, yeah, man, I'll catch you in for the Clinton thing if you want to hop in when I get going on that. It is humorous watching those two dance. Talk about a master class in lying to people's faces. Those two have.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna put out an open bounty for anyone who has seen the Frazzle .dr.rip. If you've actually seen that thing, we want you on the show because we would like to ask you a few questions about it because everyone was talking about it. I didn't have the courage to go and look for something as fucked up as that. So I've never seen it. I've heard it.
dude.
It's been going around that it exists. So if you have, let us know.
Are you talking about the scene where he grabbed the picture back to look at it?
No, this is the one where they asked Hillary about it, and like she kind of like puts her hands on her face, like what was described in the video was supposed to happen, and she's like smirking and smiling during it.
No
Same
way.
weird shit with Clinton pulling back that paper, where like he's
Yes.
smirking and smiling at it. That the
Another
photo he
thing-
was looking at was the ones I posted on my page of him in
Yeah.
the hot tub with Ghislaine.
Yeah, dude, I got to a point in that Clinton deposition where he was like, I can't remember what the question was, but whatever the question was, like visibly, he was doing like this, like hiding his face. Like he didn't even want
Because
to.
he fucking knows, dude.
Yeah,
He
dude.
knows, man. He also
They
knows
know.
that he's already been caught lying to Congress before.
A guilty conscience is a power.
And then
Really is.
Hillary too. She got
If you
caught.
have one.
Hillary got caught a couple times just with the Benghazi shit alone, and then when the emails came out, she got caught on a bunch of her other lies because she refutes her own statements in the emails. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude.
These are politicians, so I'm going to cut them some
Professional.
lying slack. Yeah, they're professional liars. So.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, hey, this was a fun one. And I will see you next time. Everybody that came and joined, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for your comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if it's your first time here. And have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriel. You are the shit, dude. And thanks for everyone for the comments, man. Like, love looking through them. It doesn't distract me too much, hopefully.
Yep, absolutely. All right, y'all. We'll see you.